And, oh yes, he takes me on journeys to other places and times, and I become the wind and I'm a little depressed, and, yes, school's fine and I'm a gymnastic star, and I want to kill myself. I stood. Thank you for your time, doctor. I am suddenly feeling great. I just wanted to see how the better half lived. It's been swell. He started to speak, searching for the right thing to say, but I walked out, went home, and slept. For the time being, sleep seemed the easiest alternative. That night, I dragged myself to the station. Joy was not there. Part of me suffered exquisite disappointment. I wanted so much to look into her eyes again, to hold her and be held, but part of me was relieved. It was one-on-one again, Sock and me. When I sat down he said nothing of my absence, only, "You look tired and depressed." He said it without a trace of pity. My eyes filled with tears. Yes, I'm depressed. I came to say goodbye. I owe you that. I'm stuck halfway, and I can't stand it anymore. I don't want to live. You're wrong about two things, Dan. He came over and sat beside me on the couch. First, we're not halfway yet, not by a long shot. But you are very close to the end of the tunnel. And the second thing, he said, reaching for my temple, is that you're not going to kill yourself. I glared at him. Says who? Then I realized we were no longer in the office, we were sitting in a cheap hotel room. There was no mistaking the musty smell, the thin, grey carpets, the two tiny beds, and the small, cracked, second-hand mirror. What's going on? For the moment, the life was back in my voice. These journeys were always a shock to my system. I felt a rush of energy. A suicide attempt is in progress. Only you can stop it. I'm not trying to kill myself just yet, said. Not you, fool. The young man outside the window, on the ledge. He's attending the University of Southern California. His name is Donald. He plays soccer, and he's a philosophy major. He's in his senior year and he doesn't want to live. Go to it. Socrates gestured toward the window. Socrates, I can't, then he'll die. I looked out the window and saw, about 15 stories below, groups of tiny people looking up from the streets of downtown Los Angeles. Peeking around the side of the window, saw a light-haired young man in brown Levi's, and a t-shirt standing 10 feet away on the narrow ledge, looking down. He was getting ready to jump. Not wanting to startle him, I called his name softly. He didn't hear me. I called again. Donald. He jerked his head up and almost fell. Don't come near me, he warned. Then, how do you know my name? A friend of mine knows you, Donald. May I sit on the ledge here and talk to you? I won't come any closer. No, no more words. His face was lax. His monotone voice had already lost its life. Don, do people call you Don? Yeah, he answered automatically. Okay, Don, I guess it's your life. Anyway, 99% of the people in the world kill themselves. What the hell is that supposed to mean? He said, an edge of life coming back into his voice. He started gripping the wall more tightly. Well, I'll tell you. The way most people alive kills them, you know what I mean, Don. They may take 30 or 40 years to kill themselves by smoking or drinking or stress or overeating, but they kill themselves just the same. I edged a few feet closer. I had to choose my words carefully. Don, my name is Dan. I wish we could spend more time talking, we might have some things in common. I'm an athlete too, up at UC Berkeley. Well, he stopped and started to shake. Listen, Don, it's getting a little scary for me to sit here on this ledge. I'm going to stand up, so I can hold on to something. I stood slowly. I was shaking a little myself. Jesus, I thought. What am I doing out on this ledge? I spoke softly, trying to find a bridge to him. Don, I hear us going to be a beautiful sunset tonight. The Santa Ana winds are blowing some storm clouds in. Are you sure you never want to see another sunset or sunrise? Are you sure you never want to go hiking in the mountains again? I've never been up to the mountains, you wouldn't believe it, Don. Everything is pure up there, the water, the air. You can smell pine needles everywhere. Maybe we could go hiking together, what do you think? Hell, if you want to kill yourself, you can always do it after you've at least seen mountains. There, I'd said all I could say. Now it was up to him. Talked, I'd wanted more and more for him to live. I was feet from him now. "Stop," he said. "I want to die. Now." I gave up. "All right," said. "Then I'm going with you. Already seen the goddamn mountains anyway." He looked at me for the first time. "You're serious, aren't you?" "Yeah, I'm serious." "Are you going first, or am I?" "But," he said, "why do you want to die?" "It's crazy. You look so healthy, you must have a lot to live for." "Look," said. "I don't know what your troubles are, but problems dwarf yours. You couldn't even begin to grasp them." I'm through talking. I looked down. It would be so easy. Just lean out, and let gravity do the rest. And for once, I'd proved smug old Socrates wrong. I could exit laughing, yelling, "You were wrong, you old bastard," all the way down, until I smashed my bones, and crashed my organs, and cut myself off from the coming sunsets forever. Wait. It was Don, reaching out for me. I hesitated, then grasped his hand. As I looked into his eyes, Don's face began to change. It narrowed. His hair grew darker, his body grew smaller. I was standing there, looking at myself. Then the mirror image disappeared, and I was alone. Startled, I took a step backward, and slipped. I fell, tumbling over and over. In my mind's eye, saw the terrible hooded spectre waiting expectantly below. I heard Sock's voice, yelling from somewhere above. 10th floor, lingerie, bedspreads, 8th floor, housewares, cameras. I was lying on the office couch, looking into Sock's gentle smile. "Well," he said, "are you going to kill yourself?" "No." But with that decision, the weight and responsibility of my life once again fell upon me. I told him how I felt. Socrates grasped my shoulders, and only said, "Stay with it, Dan." Before I left that night, I asked him, "Where is Joy? I want to see her again." "In good time. She'll come to you, later perhaps. But if I could only talk to her, it would make things so much easier." "Whoever told you it would be easy?" Socrates said, "I have to see her. You don't have to do anything except to stop seeing the world from the viewpoint of your own personal cravings. Loosen up. When you lose your mind, you'll come to your senses. Until then, however, I want you to continue to observe, as much as possible, the debris of your mind." If I could just call her. "Get to it," he said. In the following weeks, the noise in my mind reigned supreme. Wild, random, stupid thoughts, guiltess, anxieties, cravings, noise. Even in sleep, the deafening soundtrack of my dreams assaulted my cars. Socrates had been fight all along. I was in prison. It was a Tuesday night, when I ran to the station at 10 o'clock. Bursting into the office, I moaned, "Socrates, I am going to go mad, if I can't turn down the noise. My mind is wild, it's everything you told me." "Very good," he said. "The first realization of a warrior. If this is progress, I want to regress." "Dan, when you get on a wild horse that you believe is tame, what happens?" "It throws you, or kicks your teeth in. Life has, in its own amusing way, kicked your teeth in many times. I couldn't deny it. But when you know the horse is wild, you can deal with it appropriately." "I think I understand." "Socrates, don't you mean you understand, you think?" He smiled. I left with instructions to let my realization stabilize for a few more days. I did my best. My awareness had grown these past few months, but I entered the office with the same questions. "Socrates, I've finally realized the extent of my mental noise. My horse is wild, how do I tame it?"